What's going on, guys? In the works, and today we are playing some squad deathmatch. And you guys really were begging for some variety in the game modes, and I was like, all right, I got one for you. Squad deathmatch. How often do we ever play this? I think I've posted squad deathmatch maybe once or twice, and we're going to be using a pretty interesting combo today. We're going to be using an old school Battlefield 3 loadout, the Scar H with Cobra and Suppressor. And this is a loadout that I absolutely loved when Battlefield 3 was, first release, when it was first out there. Scar H with Suppressor was arguably the best combo for the engineer. It was really good. That's back when the Scar had never been nerfed. That's back when the Suppressor had never gotten those nerfs and buffs and all those crazy patches that have basically given us a different game every like 3 months or whatever. So it's been quite a journey for the Scar, and I actually do enjoy using this weapon. It slices through people pretty quickly. And I like the suppressor on it still. I think it kind of tames the recoil of it. It does limit what you can do with it, and it's going to hurt that hip fire a little bit more. But honestly, I don't really care about that because I like to be aiming the Scar. That's when you're going to be at the best. I mean, you've only got 20 rounds to work with, so you don't want to be wasting a lot of your ammo hip firing because you're going to miss a lot of those bullets. So I do encourage you guys to aim down sight while using the Scar H. That's where you're going to get the best effects. Don't try to run around with a laser sight and hip fire this thing. But like I mentioned, we are playing Squad Deathmatch here on Nebadon Flats, and Squad Deathmatch on this map is a lot of fun. I tend to call it my SWAT Deathmatch. It's like, you're running through this building, you want to be off the radar, you basically have to hold down portions of the map. Because the problem with Squad Deathmatch right now is on PC, a lot of the servers are running a little bit glitched. The squads are super huge, because if you look at my spawn-in screen when I do die, I actually have a ton of people in my squad. And what does that really mean? I mean, why would that really matter? They're basically just on your team. It's basically 4 teams, 7, 8, 9, 10 people on each team. They're all in the same squad. That can cause a lot of problems because they can spawn on anyone. So there's a lot of people for them to spawn on. I mean, that's a pretty big deal as I start this game like 11 and 1, I believe. So pretty good start with the Scar H silenced. That's a lot of people to spawn on. So what you get is you get really clustered areas, and you really have to play a little bit more campy, a lot more campy than I really like to, but it's more tactical. You have to be smart about your movements. You really have to hold down portions of the map in order to be successful, and that's something I can't emphasize enough. I mean, when one person is alive in a squad, that means 8 other people can spawn on that person, and that's a lot of people. I mean, before you know it, you've got like 6 or 7 people just popping out of a corner where you thought there was only one guy. So that's something you really have to consider on these maps. That's why they do get a little bit clustered, but that's really what makes it fun. I think this is an awesome TDM map. I think it's awesome for squad deathmatch. You kind of feel like one of those like special forces guys running through a warehouse, holding down corners. There's a lot of different containers and stuff that you can peek your head over. So I do really enjoy this. Even the outside fighting is a lot of fun. And this setup actually works really well on these maps. I mean, it's my Navy SEAL SWAT loadout, like I like to call it. Because it's fun running around in these warehouses with weapons like the Scar H. I mean, the Scar H does 30 damage, so you do have the potential to get a 2-shot. I mean, if you shoot them in the head twice, they're going to die because it's doing 60 damage per shot, because this is a 30 damage weapon, as you see me get 1 shot there by AEK. But the AEK tends to do that because it has a crazy fire rate that you can kind of just spray from the hip and get lucky headshots. But that was a bit unfortunate because I was on a good kill streak there, but what are you going to do? But like I was saying, the suppressor is important on squad deathmatch because you don't want people to know where you are. You don't want to alert everybody and their mom that you're over here in this corner holding down this portion of the map, because like I said, people will spawn on people. With these giant squads, that means if one guy is in the corner, the next thing you know, there could be 6 guys in the corner. You kill 3 of those guys, the next thing you know, there's 8 guys in the corner. So you've really got to be on your toes in this game mode. A lot of people would look at this and say, well, it's obviously glitched, I don't want to play this, but it's actually a lot of fun. I mean, if you just want to go in there and get a lot of kills, you got to be a little bit more tactical, though, and I think that's where the suppressor comes into play. Keeping them from knowing exactly where you're coming from, that's a big advantage. It also tames the recoil on the Scar H. So even though this loadout is a little bit outdated, I mean, if you were to post this video back in October of 2011, this would be a really awesome loadout, and everyone would be like, oh, that's so overpowered, like they did back in the day. because I used my fair share of the Scar H. Don't get me wrong. When the Scar H with Suppressor was the big class, that was what I really relied on because it was so much fun to use. I loved playing the Engineer class, and it's nice to see that this class can actually still stand on its feet. And there's an example of what I'm talking about right there. I kill one guy, the other guy runs into the corner, and the next thing you know, there's 3 guys in that corner. But my biggest advice, if you're going to hop into Squad Deathmatch and give it a whirl, try the Suppressor. I mean, if you're not a huge fan of the Suppressor, by all means, just use an unsilenced weapon. I mean, I think as a general rule, the Suppressor is not really that big of an advantage in game modes. I think the only game mode that it really helps you in is sometimes Conquest. Very rarely Rush. I know that sometimes you can get behind people in Rush, but I find a lot of times in Battlefield 3 you're spotted anyways. So due to the fact that you're spotted, it's not really going to matter that you have a Suppressor. The only times it really comes into play, like I said, is when you get a good flank on. But like I said, Squad Deathmatch, I have found a lot of advantages to using it. It's really going to come down to your preference. But find a portion of the map that you want to hold down. That's how you play Squad Deathmatch. It's all about holding a position, keeping people from taking that position from you. Because once they take that, like I said, they'll start to spawn on each other. And before you know it, you no longer control that portion of the map. So that's really what I like about Squad Deathmatch. I mean, even though these squads are giant, and I would never, you know, I'd never say that this game mode isn't broken, because it most definitely isn't. Ooh, nice little cleanup work there with the 1911. Even though I do get killed, and they revive them because they're, you know, the medic trains tend to do that. Like I was saying though, even though Squad Deathmatch is a little bit wonky right now, it's still a lot of fun to run in there, you know, get a lot of kills, because it's a new twist on TDM. If you find yourself playing a lot of TDM, try out some of these game modes like Conquest Domination, Squad Deathmatch, game modes that actually require a little bit of thinking, because I don't know about you guys, I get completely tired of playing game modes like Nose Hair Canals, you know, 1,000 Tickets, TDM, 24/7. It gets a little old. I like a little strategy behind my gameplay. I think Squad Deathmatch offers a little bit more than your normal TDM. I think Squad Deathmatch is a nice combination of TDM and Conquest Domination, because you get a lot of action. You really got to be on your toes, and you can rank up some of those weapons pretty quickly. So a pretty good loadout in today's video, a pretty fun game mode. Let me know what other game modes you guys might like to see me play. Maybe I'll test out some Squad Rush. I know a lot of you guys have always asked me why I don't play Squad Rush, but maybe we'll dip our toes into that in a future video. But if you missed my past videos, now's the chance to catch up, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.